Despite repeatedly condemning the deal as a candidate, Donald Trump is expected to once again certify that Iran is abiding by the requirements of the nuclear deal negotiated under former President Barack Obama. As of right now, under US law, the State Department has to notify Congress every 3 months of Iran's compliance with the deal. The next deadline comes up on Monday, which means that 90 days ago, approximately, he did certify it, even though he spoke out repeatedly against it. I had a file, many pages of him talking about the Iran deal, how bad of a deal it was. I'm not gonna read all of that, but I will give you one idea of how much he hates this thing. During a campaign event on September 6, 2016, Trump said, if you take a look at Iran from 4 or 5 years ago, they were dying. They had sanctions, they were being choked to death, and they were dying. They weren't even going to be much of a threat. They didn't have anything going, and now they're a power. Overnight, we've made them a power. He then called the nuclear deal the highest level of incompetence. He also said this, my #1 priority is to dismantle the disastrous deal with Iran. I've studied this issue in greater detail than almost anybody.
By that he means he read not 1, but 2 tweets about it.
Yeah.
He's like, who would read past 1 tweet?
He's read almost 300 characters.
So what I'm greatly amused by is that he is now sanctioned, apparently, in his own words, the highest levels of incompetence. So he's like, that highest level of incompetence, kind of love it. Yeah, I'm gonna roll with it. So he also said he would tear it up on day 1. So none of that happened.
So that's good.
Yeah, so this is really good news. So we can't help but make fun of Trump a little bit and tell you that it was another campaign promise that he didn't mean at all. So it's lie number 1987. But in this case, thanks God. So I love that they're not tearing up the deal, because then we would have a needless extra conflict in the Middle East. God knows when that would go to war. And right now, Iran is not making nuclear weapons. That deal stopped their nuclear program altogether. They weren't making nuclear weapons anyway, but we took the nuclear energy away. And so they have no chance of ever weaponizing their nuclear program because of that deal. It's one of the biggest accomplishments of Barack Obama, and the fact that they're not tearing that down is good. So if you're wondering why go against your campaign promise and help Obama's accomplishment, that doesn't seem very Trumpian, at least the latter part. There's a reason why. Iran is actually allied with Russia. So the guy who's blocking tearing up the deal is Rex Tillerson, longtime friends with Vladimir Putin, the guy who wanted to make the $500 billion deal with Russia in the first place when he was CEO of ExxonMobil. So lo and behold, they get into office and they're like, Ron, not so bad. When he was campaigning, they're the worst of the worst, but we choked them, we almost murdered all of them, right? Like that was like a big thing. Now they're like, oh, Vlad says they're okay. I read 2 tweets about it. I think we're good.
Well, Tillerson has had positive things to say about the deal lately. It's interesting that the last time it was recertified, he did speak out against Iran, and he was not happy with the entire process, although the State Department did apparently think that they were abiding by the deal. And I do have to say that what we heard during the last election from not just Donald Trump, but also Ted Cruz wouldn't stop talking about this deal. The way that they tried to twist ensuring that Iran has virtually no even theoretical capability to weaponize the uranium they have or produce a nuclear weapon, that increased the danger to Israel specifically, was this huge mental leap that largely the media never questioned, and they were allowed to just present it as a difference of opinion. You take away their ability to create nukes, well, maybe that makes it less likely they'd have nukes. Maybe it ensures that they will. And Trump repeatedly said that this ensures that they will create nuclear weapons. And he was never really taken into account for it.
Help us build independent media together. TYTnetwork.com/join.